Yeah, we can go Discord, man. Let's see. Hello, hello. How are you doing, man?
Hello, I'm doing good. I've been winning a lot with Graves recently, but this game was. I felt like I could maybe carry, but I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, to be fair, you are getting outranged quite a lot. This draft, like every champion in the game has higher range than you, so it must be not that easy for you to play. But okay, the level one is a bit of a clusterfuck.
Yeah,
Oh, he missed that.
we end up winning it, but
Yeah, I mean, nice smile, but I guess you die. Yeah, you can't really
can you
be
screen
there.
share so I don't
Oh
have
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
My
delay?
bad. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I forgot to do it. But yeah. I mean, the level one is a huge clusterfuck. Doing, I guess you do win it. You also have two long swords, so that's a nice addition. And Needle actually gets delayed a lot. She dies now. I mean, it's definitely not gonna be a regular game though because of what's happening. Like there are a lot of summoners being burned. There are a lot of camps for retaking. Uh, this game is harder to navigate than a regular game because there's just so many options, and everyone is behind in gameplay. I mean, mid lane doesn't have flash, so he's definitely gangable as well. Like you could go for a cheese gang, like drive by. Grace level 2 ganks are pretty strong, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Although the wave, I mean, she's managing to crash the wave to be fair, so might not be able to do it either. Uh, you can't really invade bot side because no push, top side no push. Yeah, generally you should be looking for some advantage. I mean, this Zoe is overextended actually. If you came from behind, she would be dead by now. So, uh, as I said, this game like it's not regular one because of how the level one went. There's so many opportunities. You should be looking for them to be honest to use them. Just full clearing in this game will not. I mean, it's not full clear, but yeah, it's not gonna be as useful as what else you can get on the map. Considering that almost no one has any summoners and Nidalee is super delayed. Unfortunately, everyone is pushing, so you couldn't actually get invade on them. But yeah, I mean, this wave not really like doesn't really signal gank for me, and this is one of the few people who has flash still, so definitely not the right person to go for.
I see.
This, he's safe, right? The wave is pushing to
Yeah,
him,
it's
so
slow pushing
he's
into him.
chilling. Yeah, so like he could troll, but that's like it's not the best to like base your ganks off enemy trolling, right? Unless you know this guy that he always pushes when he shouldn't, you know. Uh, but yeah, you should just take the crop and look at this guy instead. No
Mm-hmm.
flash Zoe, half HP. You come behind her, boom, she's dead. Like really easy kill. Yeah, I guess you do end up getting her anyway, or well,
Yeah, I will kill her here.
we'll get a bit closer. To be fair, Velko's gonna base. Because he could help Velko's push if he wanted to base, but he's.
He didn't really ping and he didn't really push it himself, so I was like, I don't really
I,
want to do it. So
to be fair, bot lane gang is pretty good opportunity. I mean, this one is actually freezing, so this one is pretty good. Yeah, this good opportunity and Lulu no flash still, so yeah, for sure, not a bad idea to go for a gank here. It's better, uh, and Velkos could have like sort of frozen and based as well. So he didn't necessarily need. I mean, if Pike hits his hook, it's easy kill. Yeah, I think this gang was a good one. Uh, yeah, I mean the wave is still frozen. Yeah, yeah. No reason not to cheese them.
yeah, sad I didn't
This,
gain
this
anything
Pike is
from
like
it. So
like me. Yeah, I mean you do get to share some farm, so it's not the worst. Yeah, you get share a lot of XP and farm here. So it's not the worst. It's not the worst. I mean, you should base though. You're out. Wait, do you like? You're out of mana and you're half HP. You could like if you base here, right?
Hmm.
You run from base to there, and like the difference is not that huge, but you actually get better items. And you also have a choice to run like this and keep playing for bot, for example, like reverse your clear. So you staying here is not good with so much gold. Like you will clear comes much faster if you just base. Unless you really need gold for some power spike, it's much better to base.
I think the idea was I wanted Umbral Glaive here on this back, but let me see. Yeah, then
I
Pike
mean,
wanted to do some weird
yeah,
play here. So yeah, I should
but
have
yeah, I
based
mean,
earlier.
all this is like yeah, you're really weak right now, you know. So you're just overstaying for no reason. If you came to this fight after basing, you would be one-shotting people.
I
You
still
just
don't think we'd
fighting
win. I
without.
just think I would get one kill.
Yeah, but I mean, uh, yeah, you could do much better in the fight for sure though. If you have items,
Yeah.
it's definitely not worth to just stay on the map with so much gold. When you can just base in the bush, apply pressure on them still, and then decide where you run, bot or top. Both could be fine options. Probably is better. 3 comps versus 2 comps. Yeah, I would probably run to top side and clear the 3 comps and raid the spawn afterwards. And then yeah, with better items you could have definitely done a lot more in the fight, which you don't need to take this fight to be fair, but definitely don't want to take it when you have so much golden base.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this only works if they like overstep, which they don't. Once again, the wave was not like in a gangable state, but Velkos was coming behind him, so fair enough. You should, and you did take your camps already, so it's fine to go for that. But yeah, once again, if you look at the wave, like Aatrox is chilling, right?
Yeah, it's only
Uh,
because Vel'Koz is top here
yeah,
that I'm
yeah,
looking for 3v1
I
on him.
understand. I understand. Yeah, and I mean, if they didn't have ward there, maybe they overextend on Velkos, you can kill them. So, it was a good idea to try. Don't think you can do anything more, but yeah, you can take the Herald, so that's good. Kind of hard to dive this guy. Yeah, you have a Herald recall, so good to abuse it. Yeah, you had yeah, had Iron Spike Whip, so that's nice. I mean, this is fine. You're just covering. Your team died. You win your fight as well. Nice.
Here I ended up dying. I kind of flipped the play. That I shouldn't have. I thought I need to
Nice.
like cut them off here, but I didn't realize that Eshu could probably do that. So, but
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. I mean, you did get quite a lot here, like as a team. Uh, could have survived, but yeah, the fight in general is good, right? To take there. That was the important part, and you do. Yeah, I mean, it was fine. You guys get 3 for 1 in that case. So definitely worth it. You should be planning how do I use my Herald now. So let's see how you do it. I mean, if you do end up ganking mid, successful gank mid will allow you to do Herald. I don't like doing the Drake when you have. Wait, did you? Yeah, I don't like doing Drake when you have Herald because it use that window to like uh you taking Drake usually gives tempo on the map, and then it's much harder to actually find a good Herald use. Should be focusing how do I use Herald well when you have it, and then like you can take the Drake right after you use it. Like it just kind of brings your focus out. Your team is coming instead of pushing waves. You know, like you could be mid wave for example instead, killing these guys, putting the Herald down. I mean, I guess you can still do it. You will put it right. Yeah.
I don't remember where I put it, but I think I put it mid.
Yeah, you probably put here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really good game to put it mid. I mean, yeah, you should just put it to be honest.
I'll put it
Yeah,
like in late.
yeah. I mean, you run out of time, and this part of the that's part of the reason why I don't like doing dragon. You know, in between, and you had the chance to put it here as well, but yeah, like you will not be able to put it as well as you could before if you played around that specifically, and ends up crashing luckily. But a lot of times it's not gonna crash when you like put it like that. They can just stop it, depending where they are. Yeah. Instead of taking Drake, you should look like plan should be where they want to use it. Probably mid. Zoe has no flash. Pike is coming, so instead of starting a Drake, just look to come from both sides and sandwich her, and then look to use a Herald, and then you can go Drake, right? Drake is not on the timer, while Herald is. If you're there from the start, you make sure that your team doesn't lose it. It's not a 2v3 and Nidalee is not there, you know, while you're missing. It's a 3v3, and then you can collapse and make sure that you win this fight, and then you use the Herald. And you would also get extra kills, at least assist if you were there. And you would also be in position to be there faster, because if you're there fast, after you guys killed, if you all three here, you can actually take one plating and then use the Herald while zoning them. You're late for this play, so it's a bit harder to do. And here, honestly, like yeah. Anyway, a bit unlucky dive with Camille. A bit unlucky dive. It's nice that you still get the two platings, crash and mid with it. To be fair. Oh, how is the Twitch so strong? He has no items. You're almost at 2 items now.
I think I got
That's
maybe Gore Rinker here. Yeah, I did.
yeah, you should have it. You have a lot of gold. You should make a habit though, clearing your camps in order of where you try. I mean, if you wanted to go top to begin with, then that's the right order. But if you wanna keep
Yeah, it's again because
pushing
of
bot,
Pike
you should
being
start
top.
Gromp. Yeah, fair enough. Normally you would start like Gromp Blue Wolves to like path into where you wanna go. But yeah, I mean this is fine, but yeah, it should be hard to make it work. Let's see. Do you make it work? Seems like a hard gank, to be fair.
I think we just get his flash.
Yeah, I mean, he's too close to his tower to. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of bad call from Pike to go for that.
And then here I just wanted to stay on top so we can get Rift. But then I see this fight in mid, so I want to join it.
Yeah, but Twitch can be there, so I guess you guys shouldn't fight this. Yeah, taking the enemy camps is fine. Okay, Twitch is bot, so this is fine as well. Yeah, I mean, this is good. You get the Herald. It is the main objective. And you are doing quite well this game, but it is hard game to play Graves. Like everyone's playing on higher range and you are pretty much. They have Twitch, Zoe, Nidalee, and you have Vel'Koz and Ezreal, so you're kind of like the odd one out where you actually want to commit, but you don't have people who want to commit that well with you. I mean, Camille can play for it, to be fair.
It's just I get almost like ahead every game with Graves, but then there's some games like this one where, I mean, yes, because of draft it's difficult, but I get so far ahead, like in the next 10 minutes, that I feel like I should be able to carry. But then again, something happens on the map, and then I'm like, okay, somebody died, I will just go farm camps and invade and whatnot. But
It can happen. It can happen. People can just throw games, you know. But I mean, so far it does look like you did mostly right things, and like you could be more ahead, but you are quite ahead. So it's not like you're definitely in like on your way to win this game. I'm unfortunate that Vel'Koz dies here, and you guys have to give.
so here the annoying part was the fact that because Camille does not play with TP and Aatrox was there, like I wanted to play for Drake, but because Camille doesn't play with TP and she doesn't rotate for it, I was like, okay, let's give it. And then my Vel'Koz just walks into them and dies, and I'm like, okay, I give the Drake and I invade her topside camp, so
I
take
think
that.
when you see this, you should probably just run into top and keep the Herald and try to get a tier 2 if you give this. instead of
Mm,
placing mid.
I used it mid, so we got 2 towers, and then I waited their top camps.
How do you get? Oh, you mean
Yeah,
the
we
mid
got two
tower get one?
towers.
But I mean, the top tower will fall anyway. But you can get the next one top as well if you keep the herald, and this one gives a lot of gold, right?
Yeah.
Mid tower is already low and it's not gonna crash again. I think it's more value if you cross map to use the herald on the cross map, which well sucks to cross map, but yeah, if Camille is not coming, then you kinda have to. Yeah, apart from that, you're doing the right thing. But yeah, I think yeah, with the herald here, you guys would also get this tower and would be a more balanced trade. And this Velkos is dying a lot, to be fair. He will make this game harder than it needs to be.
He ended up not really farming, and then he was complaining. But I was like, whatever.
I hate that sound. Means that my team fight is over. When I hear the Aatrox doing the reset of the ultimate. Uh, yeah, I mean, one of the things is you do stay on the map with too much gold again.
Mm-hmm.
So you should consider basing. Uh, if you did commit for the bot play here, you could look to base after pushing out this wave, for example, instead of right. Like your jungle is distinct anyway. You can either base here and run to top side if you want to make top lane play, or you can like clear this and base if there's no top lane play. It's up to you, but yeah, like having the play with so much gold again does put you in a disadvantage. You do tend to stay with too much gold on the map, making yourself weaker than you should be at certain points of the game. I mean, you're still staying on the map contesting, but yeah, you have 3k gold now. You know, like the longer you stay, the longer you are kind of like weak and useless, where you can't actually contest stuff all that much. You're like lowering your playmaking potential by staying.
Yeah, I ended up just recalling as soon as I had full black cleaver. I
Yeah,
think.
fair enough. But like, if you base on time, you can be there for fights. You
Yeah.
are strong enough, and they do have people dead. So, but the problem is you have too much gold, so you don't want to fight, and like, well, your team is still contesting stuff on the map. But if you base on time, like you don't need a full item when you base. Like
Yeah, I
bars are
understand.
enough. Like
I usually go for
usually
like
like
1100.
yeah, 1100, 1.5k. You know, like these are like if it gets to 2k, you're probably staying too long. If it gets to 3k, then you always stayed like way too much. You know, like it's you should know that. But yeah, like these times of weakness is where enemies are getting advantages on the map. You wanna be always stronger as Graves and like stay on the map stronger and keep fighting them. They did get quite a lot while you were missing. Like and to be fair, this is Baron angle. This is actually Baron angle, but they're way too low, and yeah, I mean now that Velko is getting chunked as well, it's
I
gonna be hard.
think we play for Drake. I think I was just playing it very safe this game.
Yeah, but I don't think like the safe play is necessarily Graves playstyle. You kind of need to be in their face and you need to like be contesting objectives. But fair enough. I mean, you can give this dragon to not go for a Baron. To be fair, like, and especially if Velkos dies, then you definitely can't go for it. Okay, nice flank there. Yeah, I mean, this is what I like, you know. This is what was missing the last like 5 minutes of the game, where you're like farming with like a lot of golden base and you're not looking for fights. Here
Hmm.
you're actively looking for fights and you're carrying your team. Before they get a lot of gold, well, like you couldn't do anything, but now you're getting all the gold back. And yeah, going for Drake here is good because you're already on the Drake. Uh, you can go for Baron if they still stay around. If they get chunked more and stuff like that.
Yeah, here I just didn't chase because I had a decent amount of gold after winning the fight, so it's like I just want a
Yeah,
base.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't see the
Vel'Koz
point
was
in
kind of like
fighting.
pinging really hard for Baron. I mean, two of them are dead, but you guys don't have good enough vision. I agree that this is not good
I
Baron
just don't think we
for.
have enough damage. Like, Esho doesn't do that much damage, Vel'Koz on Baron
Yeah, I
is
mean,
not too
if you
much,
combine the
so...
fact that you guys don't have any vision, like and like the damage obviously doesn't help. I mean, obviously, if you guys are already here and you have vision on the Baron, then like you will take it pretty quick. But all the way, like until you run here, Twitch is gonna spawn, right? You will eat some spears in your face. Meanwhile, like getting chunked, being scared like of the bushes, and then by the time you like get it low, then enemies can be 5v5 in you and without spending the gold. So I agree with you. Like this is the right call. The right call is not to go for Baron here. The right call is to base, spend your money, and then set up the Baron afterwards. It's kind of Velko's just brainwashing your team to go for this because he's been really angry this game. It seems. Look at the map there too, Velkos. Sorry guys, I have not activated Windows. I forget to activate it. There are multiple Velkos. Which is coming, so fair enough. You don't want to take this. I mean, you did the right thing. Sometimes your team can punish you for doing the right thing. I mean, still very winnable though. Still very winnable. So let's see. And yeah, this kind of choke point you'll never be able to join, but you can kill it. Isn't that the freest 700 gold? Turn around and see one hit opponent right at you. That's nice. But you should buy one pink. I said it to Aiden Renger as well. So if you go
Uh,
back, if you want to play for Baron, you need one pink in the pit. So here, when you get the Hex Drinker, then get Hex Drinker and get one pink bar instead of getting Hex Drinker
do I
one
have enough
longsword.
gold for it?
I mean, you had enough for
Yeah, yeah,
a
I have.
longsword, you know. So yeah, it's kind of important. One, like I don't care about your pink words in laning phase. You're not probably gonna use them that much, but uh,
It's
having a
just that I
pink word
can
for late.
clear vision anyway, right? Because I have like highest vision score in the game, so...
I mean, Umbral Glaive does help you for sure, but one pink word just makes it easier to set up for a Baron. And now you don't have your Oracle lens, you know, and if you had a pink word to put in the pit, then you can know if they have vision or not. You guys can still play for Baron, to be fair. There are only two of them alive.
Mhm.
Of course, Camille would need to stop Needler from going to the base, but it's another good chance to do Baron. Like if you play too conservative with the Graves, you will not be able to win the game. You will need to. You don't flip it, but obviously with three people dead when you guys are four, it's a pretty good chance to do it if played well.
To me, it just still seems flip because all of them were like kind of low HP and Nidalee is still like quite fed. So I didn't really want to go for it. So instead, I kind of tried to keep on pushing for the fight.
I mean, yeah, the fight would be easier if they walk into you guys, though. Like that's the thing. And if you have a pink ward to place here, then that like makes sure that Nidalee cannot just poke you for free. Um, Is it a flip? I would say this Baron, you should have like a 75% of getting it, because they're or around that, because it will depend on how Camille plays. If Camille just keeps pushing mid, for example, would be pretty bad. But if she comes, then she can zone Nidalee from coming to the pit, and you guys can always turn on them. But it just forces the enemies to run into you instead of you running into them like very far, and just makes it easier to kill them, even if you don't get the Baron. And you can tank the Baron quite well with this build now. Like I would assume that you're decently built.
Yeah, I mean, I can tank it, but in terms of damage output, again, I'm not really too sure with this type of team comp.
I mean, Vel'Koz, Liandry, you know, like he will do damage. Like Vel'Koz should do damage. And yeah, I mean, I would say going for a Baron here is like better play when you're trying to snowball a game than like trying to chase them down. Fair enough. And you're still super strong. Now you don't have space for ping, so fair enough.
Here I ended
Y-
up dying, and then everyone
yeah, I mean,
died after me, so
you do
then
quite a lot of damage, but yeah, like your team was not in position for the fight. Like Vel'Koz was bot,
yeah, I just
Ezreal was
greeted,
catching defense.
but then everyone else died, and then we lost too much. Like I die here, and then the rest of the team just dies as well.
Yeah,
Like they use us
I mean
now.
it can happen when you're the strongest member and you die. Like usually your team will lose their mind as well. Just die. Uh, that's happened quite a lot. But I mean this is kind of whatever, you know, like mistakes like that will happen. I think it's more about like pressuring your advantage when you had it, like just getting the barons, getting the bases back so you can pressure more on the map. There were a lot of missed opportunities earlier in the game where there were a lot of dead time, or not trying to go for barons when you could, which will help you snowball the games more consistently. Because yeah, I mean, I guess they don't finish here quite yet, but let's see what happens actually. This should still be sort of winnable, but does Vel'Koz get caught again or what?
Yeah, Vel'Koz dies, and then I think they take Baron and just win the game. I think that is what ends up happening.
Okay, I guess.
If I remember correctly, or we gave them Baron and then
You guys just
Vel'Koz
give them.
dies. Like someone just dies at some point. I'm like, okay, he will just
Issues.
end the game.
Yeah, the lack of vision definitely doesn't help with contesting it. Of course, you do have enough mobility with Graves to be able to sort of check without dying. I guess there are no blue trinkets though, so it's a bit awkward without vision. Given free Baron at this point is a pretty big deal though. With Ezreal checking it as well, but Velko just base. So. I know you guys should be contesting this to be fair. You can always blast con over here, you know, and you have your dash and R to get away. So you can apply pressure without dying and give some vision to your team. You are tanky enough and strong enough to be able to do it and mobile enough. Uh, Given free Baron at this point in the game can be like a death sentence by itself. You already have one inhibitor down, so they can just take another one with Baron. Playing versus two inhibitors is pretty hard. And of course, if Vel'Koz does die, that doesn't help. I do think that most of the mistakes were like were earlier on. Like you could definitely punish a bit more like early game because the level one was super uh, uh, volatile and everyone was using summoners and like everyone from many teams were pushing. So choosing like a Zoe early can give Vel'Koz early prio, allow him to play the game a bit. Uh, there were quite a lot of free kills all around the map. And after that, just make sure that you base on when you have a lot of gold, so you don't create this dead space where you can't contest the enemy. Because with Graves, you always want to stay ahead and you always want to keep pressuring the enemy. If you don't base and you stay too much on the map farming without pressuring the enemy, they just get to farm up and well, they get a chance to win the game. But if you base on the right times, you will keep up the pressure and it will be easier for you to snowball the game into your advantage like you did on the like dragon spawn. And yeah, I think you should definitely be trying, like you should be buying pink wards when you can on Baron. Like 1 or 2 pink wards per game are enough just for when Baron is up, and you should be forcing Baron when you get advantage when some some enemies are dead, because there were at least 2 times where Baron was doable and you guys didn't do it. And it should come from you because you are the one who's like really strong, really like really beefy. You don't have too much DPS on Baron, but you can tank it enough for your team to DPS it, and uh, you do want to keep getting the objectives with Graves to keep the snowball up, basically.
So once I'm ahead, then I just pay for Rift Herald, and then I get a good Rift Herald. But then if they trade the Drake, then what would I do after? Would I then just counter jungle their top side to get further ahead individually? Or
Yeah,
what would I
yeah,
do?
yeah. You can also use the Rift Herald to get a full tower, you know. It does depend on champions if it's worth it. If you can't use the top, then you can also use the Rift Herald base to just come bot and protect from dive. Like you kind of did this game, right? I think that's what you did this game, if I remember correctly. You had this fight bot where you get them. Was that after a Rift Herald or no?
I don't remember, but yeah, we got 3 for 1 because of that.
Yeah, I mean, uh, depending on the game, basing and defending both can be good because Rift base is also an advantage, right? Uh, it does depend on whether enemy jungle camps are up, whether taking top tower is good. There can be a lot of possibilities, but I wouldn't say you should do the same thing every game. But if your jungle bot side is gone and enemy jungle top side is up, then yeah,
It's just
probably
that
you
I
just take it
often, like, if
jungle.
I don't get Drake before Rift, then I'll play Rift, and if they don't trade Drake for Rift, then I will also very often take Drake while having Rift. Like, I always
Yeah, I
try
mean,
to get all
I would
objectives.
just try to. I mean, it's good to get them all, but you can like should prioritize putting Rift Herald down and then going to Drake. And putting Rift Herald down usually gives you tempo as well because you need to stay and like defend versus. Usually it's not too hard to get the dragon. Uh, that situation, the dragon was not contested by the enemy, so you don't lose anything by coming mid and like chunking through or killing any mid laner using the Rift Herald and then getting a Drake. Just don't want to make like you don't want to be in a situation where the referral is almost running out and you don't have like any setup for it. You know, you just want to start thinking how you want to use it the moment you get it. Uh, can you get Drake sometimes in between? Yes, if there's nothing else to do, you know, if you can't put it. But it's more about actively thinking. How do I want to use the Herald? That's your objective. How do I best use the Herald once you get it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Yes, like getting the Drake itself is not the big problem. The problem is that you're probably not thinking actively at that time how you want to use a Herald, and you're running out of time because you're doing something else and using your tempo for the Drake. You know, that's that's more about that.
Okay.
Yeah, you should watch it, definitely watch out the base because the base on the Dragon was good one. You should just ping your team back, you know, so they don't troll. Uh, you shouldn't like stay with 3-4k gold on the map and not being able to pressure your advantage, especially in higher elos. It's more noticeable. Like
Yeah, I feel
if
like
you're
I could
snowballing
have
low elo,
carried
it's
this
easier.
game. Like, despite everything, like, I felt like I could have carried, but I wasn't too sure what I was supposed to do. And then when a lot of people, like, often we would very often lose, like, a fight, either because I was farming for an item or I was in base. So I was like, okay, because someone died, then I just have to farm more because there's
Yeah,
nothing else to
it's
do.
an endless circle. It's an
And
endless
then
circle.
we just never really got any good fights after that. And
Yeah,
then,
exactly.
yeah, well, because base,
And
they
they
get
get to
better and we
scale.
lose.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, that happens as well. And if you guys are not proactive, then usually like enemies will find like the inter first, you know. Usually someone is making a lot of mistakes in solo queue in like, and if you're active at punishing them, then you'll be able to snowball the game. But if you are kind of chilling around and farming, then they will find your inter instead, which was Velkoz's game.
Yeah.
And
I should just have carried it, but yeah, now I at least know how I can carry it next time
yeah, nice.
if I find
I'm glad
similar
that helped you.
situation.
Yeah, you should find yourself quite often in similar situation with Graves because Graves is very methodic. You know, like you're just taking all the camps, like then neutral objectives, fighting them objectives, base, and go for the next one. Like very, it's not like Kha'Zix, right, where you just like trying to find like off place and like trying to find like one shots on the enemies, you will like you're just this tank that keeps pressuring his advantage. It's
Yeah,
much more
I always get
straightforward.
ahead. Like the games where I don't get ahead, it's usually because like we don't invade properly or someone does something, and then once I'm behind on Graves, it's like completely useless. But like 80% of the time I'm ahead, and I'd say 60% of the time I win. But those like last 20% of games where I could win, where I'm ahead, I do something incorrect, so I can't carry myself hard enough.
Yeah. Hopefully, next games you will carry those games well.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the session.
You're welcome.